Hillary Clinton actually went to her granddaughter's second birthday party instead of preparing for the first debate against Trump. Apparently, she played her favorite party games, Duck, Duck, Question, and pinned the blame on the IT guy. And that's...
America Online founder Steve Case endorsed Hillary Clinton for president today. Although the last thing Hillary wants to hear is...
You've got mail.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Where? Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
A recent poll shows Clinton has the support of just 31% of likely voters under 35. So Hillary's doing everything she can to attract young people right now. That's why, for the first time since July, she appeared on the campaign trail this week with that millennial heartthrob, Bernie Sanders. Bernie, they love him. Bernie, they love him. They do. They really like him. They really like him. He really connects with millennials because a lot of his clothes are also 18 to 30 years old.
All right, and he has 2 clean pair of underwear. Remember that. All right, folks, time for Gimme 5. At the funeral services for former Israeli Prime Minister Shimon Peres today in Jerusalem, Barack Obama was there. And I knew, the second I heard that Barack Obama was actually going to the funeral, I knew why he was going. He spoke for over 20 minutes, but I found the good part, the part that he's sticking it to Israel, sticking it to Benjamin Netanyahu, making it very clear what he believes the situation is in the Middle East and who's to blame. He leaves no doubt. He's easy to read, and here's some of it.
I don't believe he was naive, but he understood from hard-earned experience that true security comes through making peace with your neighbors. We won them all, he said of Israel's wars. But we did not win the greatest victory that we aspired to, release from the need to win victories.
And why would that be, Mr. Obama? Because Israel is and always has been surrounded by countries that want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. That's their stated goal. That's what they teach their kids in the Palestinian schools. Kill the Jew, take Jerusalem with your blood. You make it sound as if Israel somehow has a way to remedy that just by capitulating to the Palestinians and the Arabs and give them everything they want. And if only they did that and stopped building settlements, of course, there'd be brotherly love and peace throughout the Middle East. But that's a pipe dream. That's a fallacy. That is naivete. More.
And just as he understood the practical necessity of peace, Shimon believed that Israel's exceptionalism was rooted not only in fidelity to the Jewish people, but to the moral and ethical vision, the precepts of his Jewish faith. The Jewish people weren't born to rule another people, he would say. From the very first day, we are against slaves and masters.
Okay, he's quoting Shimon Peres, and that's fine. But of course, note the selective quotes he's picking out. Now, Shimon Peres was to the left, and I do believe he was naive, well-intentioned, but naive. You can't make peace with people who teach their children to kill you. You can't make peace with people who name soccer stadiums out of terrorists who kill women and children, who pay the families of terrorists who are killed in the process, homicide bombers. The government pays the families, gives them parades. You can't make peace with those people, with that culture. You cannot. Half of the Palestinian government is Hamas. How do you make peace with them? Israel left the Gaza Strip, gave it to the Palestinians. You know what the Gaza Strip has become. Israel left greenhouses and facilities to give them a head start, a leg up. They ripped everything to shreds, tore it down, burned everything that came from the Jewish people. They wanted none of it. So now they have nothing. Is there peace? Did it help peace in the region? No, Hamas took over the Gaza Strip, and you've seen what we've gotten. Rockets fired into Israel. More.
Out of the hardships of the diaspora, he found room in his heart for others who suffered. He came to hate prejudice with the passion of one who knows how it feels to be its target.
Okay. But what Barack Obama is doing here, and you'll see in a second, is he's turning everything around on its head. How Jews have been victims through the Holocaust and before the Holocaust, in biblical times and right on through, seemingly forever. And now they're making victims of the poor Palestinians who teach their children to kill the Jew. More.
Even in the face of terrorist attacks, even after repeated disappointments at the negotiation table, he insisted that as human beings, Palestinians must be seen as equal in dignity to Jews and must therefore be equal in self-determination. Because of his sense of justice, his analysis of Israel's security, his understanding of Israel's meaning, he believed that the Zionist idea would be best protected when Palestinians, too, had a state of their own.
Unfortunately, Palestinians, as Golda Meir, a predecessor to Shimon Peres and most every other Israeli prime minister, once said, was it Golda Meir? Or was it, that's a good question now. I'm not sure. It might have been Abba Eban. One of them said, when the Palestinians love their children more than they hate the Jews, we'll have peace. But instead, many of them send their children out to be killed, knowing they'll be rewarded and treated as martyrs, to kill the Jew. Here's one more.
Of course, we gather here in the knowledge that Shimon never saw his dream of peace fulfilled. The region is going through a chaotic time. Threats are ever present. And yet he did not stop dreaming, and he did not stop working.
Dreaming is the key word. The Palestinians want a ethnically cleansed state of their own with no Jews. And Obama's State Department, when Netanyahu pointed that out, blasted Netanyahu for saying that and said settlements are the problem. Obama's the problem, his State Department's the problem, and his policies are the problem, and the Palestinians are the problem. I leave you today with a look back at Hillary Clinton's record of flip-flopping when it comes to trade, courtesy of Newsmax TV's Bill Tucker. Watch and enjoy.
This is Bill Tucker in New York. Hillary Clinton has a long history of supporting trade deals, then switching her position in order to get elected.
You called it the gold standard of trade deals. You said it's the finest deal you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Well, Donald, I know you live in your own reality, but that is not the fact. We need to keep upping our game, both bilaterally and with partners across the region through agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. This TPP sets the gold standard in trade agreements.
Then there was her support for NAFTA.
Oh, I think that everybody is in favor of free and fair trade, and I think that NAFTA is proving its worth.
Specifically on NAFTA, I don't just criticize it. I tell you what I mean. I think we've got to renegotiate NAFTA.
That's in stark contrast to what Senator Clinton had said. Here she is in 2004. I think on balance, NAFTA has been good for New York and America.
Senator Clinton and her husband championed NAFTA, worked on behalf of NAFTA, called it a victory, called it good for America, until she started running for president. That's indisputable. That's a fact.
I think my husband did a pretty good job in the 1990s. I think a lot about what worked and how we can make it work again.
Well, he approved
3 million
NAFTA.
new jobs,
He approved
a balanced
NAFTA,
budget,
which is the single worst trade deal ever approved in this country.
Of course, we are 5% of the world's population. We have to trade with the other 95%.